Hey guys, welcome to the nursery tank build. Right here we have a 5-gallon long, so it has the same footprint as a 10-gallon, but half the height. Um, it has like a wire mesh that goes on top, but I don't want the wire because the water still evaporates. So I'm going to be creating a lid by using this stuff. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but I think it's like acrylic. It's very acrylic-like. And I got it at Home Depot. It was $24 for that sheet. It's 30 inches by 36 inches for 24 bucks. I'm going to cut them out to create a lid for here. It'll slide right into these grooves right here. And I also need to create another one for the 10-gallon, plus the 5-gallon up downstairs because none of them have lids. But for this one, I'm actually going to divide this tank. It's going to be my nursery tank for the fry. I'm going to divide it perfectly in half, so I got to measure out where the middle is. That's light diffuser that I've left over. I'm going to cut out a section that's going to fit perfectly in there. So that's going to create the structure of it. That's going to be siliconed in perfectly right there in the middle. And then this stuff, this is plastic canvas. This is going to keep, can I focus on this? That'd be awesome if I could. Yeah, all right. So this stuff is what's going to keep the adults once I put the females in there. So the females will actually give birth in this tank. This is going to be probably zip tied, to the light diffuser right in the middle. So let's get to it. All right, so what I did here was I measured exactly where the middle was, and I used Sharpie for that. Sharpie's not permanent on glass, or most surfaces actually. If you use rubbing alcohol, it'll actually take it right off. So I measured exactly where the middle is, as you can see with the Sharpie. And then I put painter's tape on the side. Now the reason I did this is when I put the silicone to have a nice clean edge, and I glue the, not glue, why'd I say glue? Silicone, the light diffuser in, I could just peel the tape right off at the end before the silicone dries. That's important. And I'll have a nice, perfect, clean edge. I made it kind of thick because I really don't really mind if it's that thick because the light diffuser has some width to it. So with that done, now I'm going to measure out the light diffuser and cut it up. Measure the mesh, cut that out also. That's the easy part. That might be a little difficult to get a perfect edge, but that I'll worry about later. And then I'm going to silicone this in there. Okay, so this is the divider I just made. So you have plastic light diffuser on top, or one side. Then the other side is that canvas material I just showed you, and this is going to go right in there. I held it together with 4 zip ties because that was the most practical way, but now when I put the silicone on the sides, it'll go through, if the camera focuses, it'll go through and finish keeping it together, so none of the adult fish could fit through it. So right now I'm actually going to silicone it right back into the tank. Alright, so now we have the divider actually siliconed into place. I removed the tape, so we have a nice clean, if I can focus, come on. Well, let's see if I can do it this way. Well, there's a nice clean edge there. It's really hard to get because the camera won't focus on it. And now all I gotta do is remove the Sharpie off the sides. And right now I'm going to build the lid by cutting this plastic to measurement, and it's going to slide right into here. I'm going to cut an opening that's going to cover both sections, so I could feed by opening one side. Lifting the lid up, I could feed both sides. Then I need to drill, probably cut either on one side or the other. I can't get it perfectly in the middle because of the divider, but an opening to attach the light. And then since this is going to have one air-powered sponge on this side and one on this side, I'll have to drill a little hole in the middle of each section for the air hose, but that I'll do after the silicone dries, so I know exactly where to drill the holes. So right now I'm going to make the lid, and then we'll check back in once we have that done. Alright, so the lid is made. It'll slide right on and off, and be very careful because silicone's not dry yet. So it just slides on and off whenever I need it to. But for easy access, I made, this is for the light, and then this is going to be for feeding. So you can just feed right through there. Now the last thing I'm going to do right now, I made it on the edge a little bit so it's easier to grab. Last thing to do now is clean up all the Sharpie, get that off of there, and let this dry up. It takes about 24 hours. Where was I going with this? Oh, okay. So now I have to wait 24 hours till it's dry. So tomorrow what you'll see is I'll put a sponge filter in the back on that side, sponge filter back on this side, use a drill to drill, actually I might even do that now, the holes for the sponge filters, for the airline for the sponge filters to go through. And this guy's ready to go. I'll just throw some Java moss on each side, and there'll be a breeding tank for the females. I'll actually make an update because I'm going to use some more of that canvas stuff to make these circle breeders, where I'll go into details later. That's just a little hint. So that's going to be it for today. The end of this video will actually have the last part of this, which is the final product. So, till then. Alright guys, so it's been 24 hours since, well, it's been over for 24 hours since I put in the silicone in this tank. So, this is the final product right now. We have one side. Why is it so dark? Let me see if I can turn this light off on if it's better. Yeah, it's better. So on this side, I have 2.5 gallons. This side's 2.5 gallons. Each one has a sponge filter, so there's one there, one right there. So condensation. I was originally going to put the tubes through those two little holes, but instead I just put them through there to make it easier for this to slide on and off. We got the feeding holes right here, and Java moss on each side. To keep this tank cycled, I have just regular pet store guppies, one male, one female. It's already cycled. The sponge filters came from pre-cycle tanks, so there's no problem with that. So right now that's the setup. When these guys are ready to breed, these are the main concentration. The albino superior reds. Their fry will go into that tank. The females will be in there first while they drop their fry. So that's the nursery tank. And then next time, I don't know when yet, I will be dividing this tank. But right now I don't really need to because I don't have any other adult males and females to separate. So that's going to be held off. I did also create lids for this one. This one had no lid, so that's a lid. That one has a lid. And I put one right here. That side doesn't have one, just for easy access. But at least I'm cutting the evaporation by half. So until next time, comment, like, and subscribe.